Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So I'm sorry I was away for a few days on a wedding in Hungary, so I couldn't do videos. And I promised I will have some other videos other than Palantir, but I don't know what's happening with this stock. It just keeps producing fantastic news and fantastic results. It actually breached $13 for a brief period of time today. And that means that if you look at a year-to-date performance of this stock, it's up 100 freaking percent. It's up 100 freaking percent. So this warrants a video because I see on Twitter that some people are thinking about selling and some people are asking if this stock is overvalued. By the way, if you want to check out my Twitter, it's Vince is bullish. And my account has been blowing up. I don't know why. So that's pretty cool. So say hi to me over there. But I want to talk to you about Palantir today because we have breached $13 and I feel that we have won a battle on Palantir, and this stock is different than what it was just a few months ago, okay? And then I want to talk to you about what I'm doing with the stock and if the stock is overvalued and what you should be doing with the stock after. So it's going to be a very interesting video. Please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And you hit the like button. It helps the algorithm. So back to the beginning. Palantir is a different company that it was just a few months ago. Why do I say that? Because a few months ago it was a fringe stock that a few YouTubers were covering tirelessly, that were huge backholders of the company. Literally almost every YouTube channel that you watch, for example, Tom Nash, I think his cost basis on Palantir is like $15. Amit from Amit is Investing, or Amit Krukreya, I don't know if I probably butchered his name. His cost basis, I believe, is around $14, and so on and so on. I actually happened to start buying at Palantir at $12, and I kept dollar cost averaging all the way down. So my cost basis in one portfolio is $8.40, and in another portfolio $10.40. So I think the total cost basis is $9.60, I think. So it's very, very nicely up. So I'm not a Palantir backholder. But the point is that at that time, people were questioning Karp. They were saying that he's a horrible CEO. He only cares about his staff. And he's basically giving away the company as a stock-based compensation. This is never going to be a profitable company. They don't have a go-to-market strategy. And so on, and so on, and so on. And there's few people that were on YouTube, we had belief. We really believed that we see something, we did the math, you know, we kept true to it. And even though the stock was going down, I mean, at one point I was 50% down on the original buy that I bought at $12. And I still kept making the videos, I still kept the belief up. And I feel that that battle has been won because the stock has a complete turnaround in perception. Suddenly, Palantir is a leading AI company, even though it has been the whole time we were covering it. Suddenly, Alex Karp is a great CEO. He has a great strategy, and you know they're doing great. And to be honest, this experience has been a bit humbling, and I remember to be humble about it because I was effing right, okay? And you can go back in the videos and you can see that I was right about what I was saying. But it's really weird because I feel that I wasn't right, because when I did all my calculations, all my theses, all the logic about Palantir stock price, I didn't effing know that there was going to be a ChatGPT that comes along, you know, that bursts AI into the mainstream, and suddenly everybody was going to worry about adapting AI, and Palantir just happens to be in the right industry at the right time, just as this is blowing up. So as much as I would like to say that I knew it all and I foresaw it and I was right, I kind of wasn't. I feel that I got very, very lucky, and I think honestly that this $13 would have happened anyways because Palantir was a fantastic company that was expanding, but it definitely wouldn't have happened. I mean, the majority of the increase happened in less than 1 month, and that is just pure luck. But now we come to the question, now that it's at $13, what should you do? And this channel is not financial advice. It has never been financial advice. So here you really need to know, why did you buy the stock? In my style of investing, and I hope that you like this style enough to, you know, keep coming back to the channel, but I want to focus in on a few companies that I know everything about, like I'm a super nerd about, just like I've been about Palantir. And I want to hold these stocks for 10, 20, 30 plus years and just diamond hands and go through. And that is why I bought this stock, right? So obviously, if I believe that Palantir in the next, you know, 10, 20 years is going to be a multi-$100 stock. And the fact that it went to, you know, $12, $13 in no time doesn't change anything in my thesis, right? So I'm not even thinking about selling. I am also not thinking about adding because I saw something in the company when it was at $6. I did my calculations and it was a crazy effing opportunity. I cannot say that it's the same crazy opportunity at $12, but it also doesn't mean that because to tell you honestly, I'm trying to achieve a 20 to 30% increase per year on the stocks that I buy, right? And, you know, Palantir is already at 100%. But the point is that there's a lot of other investors that are happy with a 10% increase per year, which will keep buying Palantir at this point. So what would, you know, in what situation would I have to be to sell this stock? So for example, if I was close to retirement and I put, let's say, $1 million into this stock and now I'm up you know, $1 million because the stock went 100% up, and my target was to make an extra 1 million for retirement. At that time, I would sell because you won the game. You got what you wanted, and you know you lock in this game for sure. And there can be so many other scenarios. So you have to know: were you a trader? Were you short-term thinking? Are you a long-term investor? You know, what is your price targets? What is your plan? So I cannot really honestly give you advice. But now we go to the point of, is Palantir overvalued? And this is where there is a lot of contrary opinions. So people say that a stock going up 100% in 1 month is completely unsustainable, and they're 100% correct about it, right? But they make the false assumption, or many of these people make the false assumption that Palantir was worth $7 and suddenly it doubled. But that is not the case. I believe that we went into the year and the earnings extremely undervalued, okay? I think that Palantir's intrinsic value was between $10 to $12 before we go into some other points. So we corrected back to, you know, an actual correct value for the company. This is number one. Then number two is that, as I said, ChatGPT came, it completely changed everything, and right now Palantir is in a super hot industry where a lot of investors are trying to buy into the company because they want to, you know, make the AI play. So a lot of people are saying that, yeah, you know, the company is growing 20% per year on their revenues. So if the stock price goes up 100%, it means that the multiple is expanding and nothing else is changing fundamentally. And when the multiple expands, and that's the only reason why you get an increase in stock, that's horrible and it's not sustainable. And they're kind of one way correct. Again, it has to presuppose that the multiple expansion happened from the correct and it went into insane. And here I would argue again that the multiple was super compressed and we came back to normal, and I'm actually going to show this to you. And here's some other things to consider. So if you just look at Palantir financials as they are, I believe that, again, the intrinsic value of the stock at this point for me is between $10 to $12. So why am I not selling, and why do I think that, you know, this stock is really worth holding? It's because when you are in a very hot area like this AI and you have full of new investors, Palantir just turned GAAP profitable. So that means that there's a lot of investors who are for the first time looking at Palantir, and this takes time. It's not like Palantir released the earnings and all the investors are buying into the company the next day. No. Palantir was on the news a lot that, you know, they are GAAP profitable. A lot of investors heard about it. They went home, they started doing their due diligence, you know, they're drawing up plans. A lot of these investors, like ARK Invest, you know, started buying back into the stock. And these investors don't just like go in all in, on one day. They take months to, build up monster positions. So this brings a lot of buying pressure, right? And I think that when your company is in a super hot market, you deserve to have a higher multiple, right? So that should increase Palantir stock price. Then we are at the cusp of being eligible for the S&P 500, which means that there's a whole new group of investors that are going to be going through the same cycle, looking at Palantir for the first time. All the index funds need to be buying into Palantir. And that in itself deserves a multiple expansion, right? So Tesla went up between 40 to 60% when it was announced that they would be part of the S&P 500. Let's say if Palantir's intrinsic value was $10, then it could go to $16 just on this S&P 500 because of, how many new investors and new companies will be buying into the company, right? And now, again, a lot of this is Palantir overvalued, going like it uses for the base of thinking that it was correctly valued at 7 and oh my god, now we rallied 100%. Again, I'm going from the argument that it was not correctly valued. I think that the intrinsic value was between 10 to 12. And on top of it, we deserve a huge multiple expansion. And I want to show it to you. So if you look at what is Palantir's current valuation, you see that we're trading at a price to sales of 13, which is very, very pricey. And a forward P of 49. And a forward P of 49 for a company that is as excellent as Palantir, has no debt, is self-financing, is in the midst of this blowing up AI cycle where a lot of investors are trying to get in. And this is a SaaS company that is just at the beginning of the profitability. I would argue that that is a very, very cheap valuation. And I'm going to show some other companies and what valuation they're trading at. But as we know that Palantir has a lot of stock-based compensation, so maybe a better metric to look at is the price to free cash flow. And this is also like present time looking. So, this 49 is extrapolated into next year. This price per free cash flow is already what's in the book this year. So 77 is that high? Let's look at what some other companies are trading at. Let's look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA has a price to free cash flow of 225. And NVIDIA is a much more mature, much bigger, much more well-known company than Palantir. So it has been discovered by way more people. So if Palantir would be valued at this price to free cash flow, it would be more than 2.5x from here. So Palantir's stock price would have to be at close to 30 to be valued like NVIDIA is today. Then you can see that NVIDIA has a forward P of 50 compared to the 40 something for Palantir. So small upside from here. Palantir obviously doesn't have a current P. Price to sales, 28 price to sales for a mature, super big, gigantic company. So just on this metric, Palantir could more than double. So it could go to 20 something dollars and be valued the same as NVIDIA. Then you look at another company that is a Palantir competitor. This one I don't like to look at, but you see the price to sales ratio is 12. So this is sort of in line with Palantir, but this company is still losing money. So it's way earlier than Palantir, way more unproven. So again, is this company correctly valued? If it is, Palantir should be valued much higher than this company because Palantir is GAAP profitable, has a huge free cash flow. This one has a negative cash flow, and so forth and so forth. Then let's look at Snowflake, which is a Warren Buffett stock and is, a lot of times mentioned as a competitor to Palantir. So again, see anything similar? NVIDIA price to sale in the high 20s. This is in the high 20s. Again, Palantir would more than double. So the stock price was at 13 today. It could go to 26 to reach this valuation, okay? The price to free cash flow, 119, almost double than that of Palantir. So again, Palantir could double and be in line with this Warren Buffett stock. So this is why I'm not selling Palantir. I don't think that this is overvalued, but because of the strategy that I'm doing, I am definitely not buying more because I need to, 85% of my portfolio is in this one stock. So I need to look into other very, very good opportunities. And again, you do you, I do me. You have to know your circumstances. But if you're a long-term investor, I wouldn't be thinking about selling Palantir because you let your winners run, and this stock could easily double from here and still only be valued the same as Nvidia and the same as Snowflake, which is a Warren Buffett stock. So that's just some food for thought. Let me know in the comments what you're going to do with Palantir, and make sure to subscribe. And I think I will start making non-Palantir videos, but I just had to make this one because I really think it's needed in the market. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.